All right, we are back, and I finally have this in the studio. It's the Samsung Galaxy Book6 Pro, one I've been highly anticipating since they announced it. Of course, I asked to get some hands-on time at CES. Basically, Samsung told me to go take a hike in no uncertain terms, but that's okay. I have no ill will regarding that. Okay, so I went out and I bought this, and I spent, with tax and everything, here in Nevada, Las Vegas here, $2,000 approximately. You can go to Samsung's website. You can get other SKUs. The ones that looks like Best Buy had, at least for now, when I purchased it, had only the 16 gigabyte option with the Panther Lake and all that stuff. But we are anticipating a lot of improvements. But if you want the 32 gigabytes, you can also go to Samsung's website. Now, I also have the Galaxy Book 6 Ultra, one I've been highly anticipating, putting up against something like the 16-inch MacBook Pro. That one's coming on Monday. So we have a lot to cover here on the channel. And I did spend a lot of money between the MacBook Neo, the MacBook Pro, the Galaxy Book 6 Pro, the Galaxy Book 6 Ultra. I spent north of $10,000. So it's a lot of money. So if you want to help support the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're going to use the links in the description below, yes, they are affiliate links, and I do get a small commission, not a huge commission, but a small commission to help support the channel, so I do appreciate it. Again, I'm not getting any review units from Samsung or Apple, so just help me out in that regard, because I am going out of pocket for this and trying to bring you the best kind of content to give you the most information I can and my opinions on these new releases, so I do appreciate it. Now, with that out of the way, this is the Samsung Galaxy Book 6 Pro. Big changes here, and some of the changes I wanted to see, and I'm hoping that this will come through in terms of an improvement gen over gen kind of thing. So one of the things in the past, we didn't get a haptic touchpad. We now get a haptic touchpad. They're now moving to the very impressive Panther Lake processor, the Intel Core Ultra Series 3. We'll take a look at that. Hi, everybody. It's Andrew. I just had to interrupt the intro here. I've been a little deceived here with this laptop. I really like it. I like a lot of the improvements, but I just realized something, and I thought I was mistaken, so I had to do some research here. This is running the Intel Core Ultra 7 356H, right? So this one has 16 cores as part of Panther Lake, but it's not the X7, which we know has the better graphics, which are the Intel Arc B390. I thought for some reason this would have the enhanced graphics, but of course it doesn't. And that makes sense why Samsung has been ignoring me and didn't want to send me a unit, because I would have obviously discovered this and brought this out. So obviously we get Intel graphics, right? We just get the integrated graphics, right? The standard one, more or less. In fact, it's not even as good as the Arc graphics we saw in, say, Lunar Lake, right? So it's maybe even a little bit less than that. So this is interesting. So if they would have put the X7 358H on this, then this would have been even better, because then you would have gotten the Intel Arc B390 and those really great integrated graphics. Now, we don't get that here, so we get limited graphics performance here. So I just wanted to interrupt my intro to let you know this is an amazing laptop until you start to dig around and find out the performance isn't exactly what you'd expect or as they're marketing. So no wonder they didn't send me one. Well, there could be other reasons for that as well, but I wanted to bring that up. Now, back to the rest of the intro. This is going to be thin, light, all metal design. It's going to have the great dynamic 2X display, the OLED display or AMOLED display. So we're expecting good things out of this. It comes in a 14-inch, a 16-inch variant, and they're also using vapor chamber cooling for the first time on this this model. So really, this is a lot of things to take in, a lot of improvements. Hopefully it'll come through. Hopefully we'll get a good keyboard. The display, obviously it's going to be the 120 hertz. Again, the dynamic 2X display, AMOLED. So hopefully it will be everything we wanted and more. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is the Samsung Galaxy Book 6 Pro, brand new for 2026. Coming up. Okay, so we have the unit itself, and I can tell you this is really thin. I mean, look how thin that is. We didn't even take it out of its wrapping. We'll get to that in a moment. We get some documentation here. Type-C cable, right? So that's going to be for your charging. Get the unit itself here. Let's take it out of its packaging. Okay, so here it is in this gray finish, and I got to tell you, this looks really, really good. Nice all metal design, very premium, very Apple-esque, as I say, very, very premium. CNC machined aluminum, probably anodized, I would imagine. Well, I don't know, but this thing is one premium looking laptop. Wow, look how thin this is. Holy crap, that is thin. So this looks and feels really good. We'll get a measurement of the weight in a moment. In fact, let's do that now. I'm curious to see because this is really thin. So let's get my scale out here. Okay, with just the unit alone with in kilograms, 1.605 kilograms, and that is 3 pounds, 8.6 ounces. Not bad for a 16-inch laptop. That is really, really thin and light. And then, of course, you get your power cord. That brings it to 1.647 kilograms. And that would be 3 pounds, 10.1 ounces. Pretty light, easy to take with you on the go. Okay, let's get a look at the port selection. On the left is an HDMI 2.1, two USB Type-C Thunderbolt 4 ports that are full function, supporting 40 gigabits per second. These are not Thunderbolt 5, by the way. With Panther Lake, if you want Thunderbolt 5, you're going to have to use an independent controller, and it's up to each OEM if they want to do that. So obviously, Samsung chose not to do that. And these two USB Type-C ports are, again, on the left side. Would like to have seen them split up, or maybe put a third one on the right. But of course, let's take a look at the right side of this unit. And on the right side, you get a 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack and a USB Type A port. Notably missing, no SD or micro SD card reader. And again, I'd like to see those USB-C ports split up, one on each side, or give us a third one on the right-hand side. Again, good port selection. A few things, like I said, could be better, but we'll see how this all performs in the full review coming very soon. Now, for those wondering, yes, you can open the lid with one finger. And let's take a look at what we have here. And boy, this looks really, really nice. And look at that. So this keyboard is redesigned and supposedly much better. Now, one of the things I did criticize previous generations of the Galaxy Books was the shallow key travel. It feels pretty shallow also, but it does have good tactility and it does have good overall feedback. So that is good. Now, these, I don't know if these are speaker grills. We'll see. This is going to be a haptic touchpad, and it's nicely sized. It's actually pretty huge in relation to the rest of the laptop. And I'm going to test this keyboard out. It hopefully will be an improvement. Now, here's the power button, which I'm from what I understand, doubles as the fingerprint scanner. I don't know if we get Windows Hello as on the camera. I don't think so. That was one of the criticisms. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but we'll test that out. So it's running the Intel Core Ultra 7. This is Series 3, obviously Panther Lake. You're getting the dynamic AMOLED 2X display. So I'm very excited about this. This looks really, really nice. And this display has minimal screen wobble. In fact, it's one of the things I criticized in the past. Now, it does go back pretty good. It gives you a good viewing angle there. And overall, when you're typing, when you're typing, minimal movement there. Let's give a listen to the keyboard just to hear how it sounds. So yeah, a little bit on the shallow side. It might be an improvement. I do like the way the keys are spaced out here. Feels pretty comfortable. Again, I need to test it out. We'll use Monkey Type in a little bit when we're all fully booted up. And here's the underside of the unit. There's some venting here like a grill. These feet will come off. We'll remove the bottom plate, see what's underneath this in terms of upgradability. I anticipate the SSD is user upgradable. We'll see what else is going on there. Again, this also has for the first time on this line, or at least with the Galaxy Book Pro line, the vapor chamber cooling. So we'll see how the thermals, and we'll test the battery life and everything in this. So stay tuned, that is coming. All right, this is booting up for the first time. So I'm gonna get this all set up. The screen is gonna be gorgeous, no doubt about it. So already I can see the deep blacks. The text looks really clear on the splash screen, but of course we need to test everything. But I love this design. This looks pretty sleek, pretty modern. And this redesign is looking really good in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. All right, so I'm setting this up and let's see here. It says continue in English. Touchscreen works well. United States. Now I'm going through the initial setup here. Obviously, Windows is going to be checking for updates. And I mentioned this in the last two videos, one on the MacBook Pro that I just did yesterday, and of course, the day before the MacBook Neo. The setup process on Mac OS is a lot better than what Windows has become. Windows has become bloated. Windows has become unmanageable. And the setup process is ridiculously long. I'm going to try to skip the updates to get this moving much quicker, but I'm not sure if I can, so we'll see. So it's checking for the updates right now, and I'll be right back when it's all fully booted up. Or I'll probably, when I get to the fingerprint scanner, setting that up, because I don't think this does have Face ID or any kind of face recognition. Was hoping for it, but again, I could be wrong. But this is the power button, which doubles as a fingerprint scanner. All right, as you can see, it is downloading the update. I couldn't avoid it, so this is going to be a while. So I'm going to go grab some coffee, maybe go to the gym, come back, and hopefully it'll be ready and done by then. And I'll see you. Maybe I'll grab some lunch also, and I'll see you guys later. Again, this is going to take a while. Thank you, Microsoft. Great job, guys. All right, as we're setting this up, I just want to let you know the specs in terms of thinness are pretty amazing on this. On the 16-inch, which is what we have here, 11.9 millimeters in terms of how thin this is. That's pretty amazing. And then on the 14-inch, it's 11.6 millimeters. Weight-wise, this is 3.51 pounds, according to Samsung, and the weight on the 14-inch variant, 2.73 pounds. So thin and light is the name of the game. All right, so while we're waiting for this to update, I want to show you the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra that I have here, and I'm absolutely loving this thing. Look how bright that is. Let me bring down the brightness a little bit. It's blowing out the camera, but this thing is pretty amazing. It has the privacy display. Build quality is excellent. Matches pretty nice, I think, and complements it pretty nicely in terms of the laptop and the phone. I also have the tablet, the Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra I've been using, and that one also complements the Samsung ecosystem here with the S Pen and all that stuff. And there it is. Obviously, it's shut off right now, but I use these a lot. So this is a good ecosystem. Hopefully, it'll be nice and seamless. We'll be able to use the phone and everything working in harmony. We'll talk about that, hopefully in a separate video as well. Okay, so while this is still updating, it'll be here a while. Let's get a look at the Dell XPS 16 next to this brand new Galaxy Book 6 Pro from Samsung. These are very interesting devices, and I'm going to put these head to head in a battle between these two. And this has the zero lattice keyboard, whereas this has the very shallow keyboard, although I think it is improved in terms of the tactility and the feedback. So we're going to test all that. But very, very interesting designs here. Both have haptic touchpads. This thing is huge. And by the way, I think we're almost done on this. And then this one really is an improved haptic touchpad. Thickness-wise, they're very similar, actually. Maybe the Samsung a smidge thicker, believe it or not. Not even negligible as far as that is concerned. So let these updates go in. But this is just a look side by side between two competing devices running Panther Lake here for 2026. And just to look at the keyboards between the brand new M5 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch versus this Galaxy Book 6 Pro. You could start to see the smudges are accumulating on the MacBook. Not a surprise. Hopefully this will hold up a little bit better as far as the coating on it, and hopefully it'll be a little bit less smudges than this one. But I would say this is thicker, obviously more boxy design. Again, I mentioned in the last video, I think it's time for them to redesign it. And of course, the rumors are they're going to redesign this for the next gen in terms of the M6 series. So we'll see. But that is these side by side. You can get a look at them. So this is going to be dynamic AMOLED 2X display. This is the mini LED. So, you know, they're going to be both very, very excellent displays. Okay, so I'm at the setup portion where it wants me to set up the fingerprint scanner again. There is no Face ID or face recognition, as I alluded to earlier. I did confirm it, so it is just the fingerprint scanner right here. Let me set that up, and this should be pretty easy. So let's just touch that, and you just got to go different angles a little bit sometimes there, and we're almost there. Boom, rest slightly. There it is, pretty easily. So easily done there. Now I got to set up a pin. Okay, I'm fully booted up here, and I got to say this display is absolutely gorgeous here and it's less reflective than before. Although I do have a lot of studio lights, it's still reflective, but not quite as bad as before. So I think they maybe improved the coating a little bit in terms of the reflectiveness and so forth. So that is good. No option for like a nano texture like option. That has been what we saw in the Apple offerings, not so here for Samsung. But I will say it's a good display. Yeah, it is glossy, still glossy, but not quite as bad. Again, I do have a lot of studio lights. Now, that's how far back the display goes. Now, I will tell you this. I've been using the keyboard and the touchpad. I'm loving the haptic touchpad here. It's really good. Let me see if we can show you some examples. But the keyboard is, again, a little bit on the shallow side, but it does feel satisfying. So I am liking this so far. Okay, let me use Monkey Type. Let me feel the keyboard. Let me test out the keyboard, see how fast and accurate I can type. Let's check it out right now. Well, I actually stand corrected here. I actually like this keyboard. It actually felt pretty good. And I did pretty decently in terms of the results here. As you can see, 96% accuracy, 83 words per minute. Again, first time using it, probably will get those numbers up, obviously. But for a first time use of the keyboard as far as typing, I'm actually pretty impressed with it. So that has been very good. Now, I am loving the haptic touchpad here. So the haptic feedback is good. The gestures work. Everything is working. If I want to do pinch to zoom, that's working. So very, very spacious too. So hopefully it's not too big where I have inadvertent clicks. So of course I need to really use this to get into the nitty gritty. But overall, first initial impressions, my assessment is really, really good. And I'm glad to see they finally put a haptic touchpad in the Galaxy Book line here. So definitely needed, and they came through. All right, let's talk about the display. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, a couple of improvements as well. I said it's a little bit less reflective. Yes, more or less that is the case here, but they now have a peak brightness of 1,000 nits, which is an improvement over any previous iteration, and a standard dynamic range brightness of 500 nits. So I'm going to test all that, but I'm glad to see this peaking as high as 1,000 nits. That's what we want to see. Of course, we've seen others at 1,400, 1,500 nits on some of the devices we've seen with tandem OLED. This is a dynamic OLED 2X display, 1,000 nits peak brightness. I'll take it. And I could already tell you it's a lot brighter than the previous iteration. So a nice improvement when it comes to the display here, as I mentioned. So really good. And the blacks are really deep. You're going to get the super vibrant colors, the really high contrast. Everything you'd expect with an AMOLED display is here. It's also a touchscreen display, pinch to zoom. Everything works well as far as that is concerned. And again, I'm loving this keyboard. I don't know why. It's just something about it is really, really good. And you can see here, and I can show you the touch layer is really good. And here's the other good news. I'm looking at this white background on my website here, and I'm not really noticing a screen door effect. So that is very good. I'll also have to test for PWM or screen flickering. Obviously, AMOLED technology uses that, but I don't know if it's going to be a problem. We'll see. But good news, I don't see a real screen door effect that's going to affect you too much here. So that is really, really good. So I'm happy to report that. Now, as far as the audio, the 16-inch version has 4 speakers, quad speakers. The 14-inch has stereo speakers. So that's one difference between the 16-inch Galaxy Book6 Pro and the 14-inch version. So we'll test that out once I get that one into the studio. But the 16 has 4 speakers. Let's give it a listen, and you let me know what you think in the comment section below. We'll also put it up against the MacBook Pro that I just got in here. That's the best in the business, but hopefully this will have some good representative sound. Let's give it a listen. Samsung. MacBook Pro. Okay, so I think the speakers are good, quad speakers, not quite as good as the MacBook Pro. I don't know if it's as good as the Dell either. Let's give it a listen actually with the Dell XPS 16. Let's see how that stacks up. Samsung. XPS. Okay, I think the Dell sounded a little bit better than the Samsung, but of course, it's purely subjective. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Hard to do it on a video, but I think obviously the MacBook Pro to me sounds the best so far out of all of these, although the Dell does sound really good. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So this is the 2 megapixel front-facing camera here on the brand new Samsung Galaxy Book 6 Pro. This is 1080p video. This is not IR, so no face recognition for this. Of course, you can use the fingerprint scanner, but this does have a key on the keyboard that allows you to shut off the camera for more security and privacy. That would be the F11 key, which doubles as that. And I would say the video is good. What is about the audio? What do you think about the sound? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, there is the studio effects like most AI PCs nowadays. You can do the background blur. This is the standard blur. This is the portrait blur, auto framing, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts on the camera in the comment section below. Now, within the Samsung settings, you can control the performance. Right now, I'm on the high performance. There's optimized, there's quiet, and there's silent. So you have some options there. Now, when it comes to the processor, we have to be careful here because it's going to affect which graphics it has. So the Intel Core Ultra 7 356H, which is a 16-core processor, part of the Series 3 or Panther Lake. But it's not the X7 because the X7 has the enhanced graphics, which are the Intel Arc B390, or they're just a standard graphics, right? So you're not going to get quite as good performance in terms of the graphics as you would on the X7. I don't see it as an option here. I don't know what Samsung's thinking here was regarding this, so we'll have to see. But it's not going to be quite as good as the Intel Arc B390 graphics we've been seeing. So this is interesting. And especially when you're paying about $2,000, $1,899 or whatever it was, this is expensive. And I kind of wish they went with the X7 or the X9, which would have given us the enhanced graphics, right? The B390. So I just wanted to bring that up. Okay, I'm running the Cinebench 2026 right now, and you can see what's going on here. I'm doing this real time here. So the core temperatures here are about 96 degrees Celsius so far. The package power, you're looking at 31 watts running right now. So you're looking at about 32 watts, and then 55 watts peak in terms of peak wattage, in terms of the maximum it can go to in terms of a burst. But again, it looks like it's around 35 watts in sustained. So that is what it's looking at right now in terms of hardware info. And again, we're not going to get the Intel Arc B390 graphics on this. So we'll see how that all plays into all this, but you can see the temperatures here. I will show you some of the thermal imaging as well. And the fans right now are on. Let me do a measurement of that as well. So the maximum fans, you're looking at around 47, 46, somewhere in there, in that range in terms of decibel level. Okay, let's bring it all home. So far, what do I think about the Samsung Galaxy Book 6 Pro here for 2026? And I will say, at first I was really excited. Improved keyboard, haptic touchpad, really nice display, now 1,000 nits, really great improvements. A lot of the things I wanted to see improved, but when you started peeling around, peeling the layers off, I started to realize there's something wrong here. Why are the graphics not as good as something like we saw on the Dell XPS 16 or on the Asus ExpertBook Ultra? What's going on here? Well, they're not using the highest end graphics. They're not using the X7 chipset, which we saw at the Core Ultra X7 358H with the Intel Arc B390. That's not what you get here. You're getting the Intel Core Ultra 7 356H, which is, yes, it is a 16-core processor, but it doesn't have the better graphics. So you're not going to get those numbers you're seeing on those other devices. So while I like this device, I was really excited about it. I'm a little bit disappointed in the chipset that they chose on this. Yes, I know it's thin. I know it's light. They want to keep it cool and quiet. They put the vapor chamber in, but I think this is another missed opportunity by Samsung. And now it makes sense why they didn't send me one to review or any of the other real reviewers, because I think this is something they didn't want you to find out. So this is not going to be the performance we saw on the XPS 16. This is not going to be the performance on the HP OmniBook X that I looked at. This is not going to be the performance even on that 14-inch Asus ExpertBook Ultra, which has the better enhanced graphics, the Intel Arc B390. So while I appreciate all the improvements they made, the better battery life, supposedly, the improved display, the improved keyboard and the haptic touchpad, all that stuff, there is something missing here, and I needed to point that out. So unfortunately, this is not off to the start I was hoping. Now, I do have the Samsung Galaxy Book 6 Ultra coming, and I did go with the one with the 5060. I don't know if it was a mistake. It was a little bit more expensive, but of course, they had one with the integrated graphics. I think that one has the B390 graphics, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe I'll have to get that one as well. But of course, I'm already over $10,000 plus. I don't want to go into any more debt over this, right? But I understand why probably Samsung wouldn't have wanted to send it to me, because I would have pointed this out. Okay, so Monday I have the other one, the Ultra, coming. We'll see. Hopefully that will be a better experience. This has been a very good experience with that one big flaw that I think they made here, one big mistake. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's look more into this. I'll have more numbers in the full review. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. And if you are a casual viewer of my content, why not consider subscribing? It doesn't cost you anything. Help support the channel as we're making our big push for 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Going to buy something like the Galaxy Book 6 Pro, the Book 6 Ultra that I have coming on Monday, or any of the other laptops like the MacBook Neo, the MacBook Pro that I just looked at, or anything else, check out the links in the description below. Yes, they are affiliate links. I do get a small commission. Help support the channel, especially since I had to go out and buy a lot of this stuff. So it was a lot of money, $10,000 plus. Anyway, so let me know your thoughts on this. Of course, I have a full review on this. I was really surprised with that processor choice here and a little disappointed, but everything else is a nice improvement. But of course, we'll have that full review. So if you have any other comments or questions, let me know in the comment section below. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.